16. And if Sprout had picked up a BO1 win over top of the likes of OG, who is able to start last week with a good amount of games versus top-tier European competition, then that would be the upset, right? This is an underdog in the European region looking to just dismantle EG, who get more chances than them. And I think we could be queuing up for exactly that. So let's get into it. It's Ancient to begin. We've already got Sprout deep inside of top middle. They're going to be trying to wrap this back line over towards the B site, and Lau picks up a couple kills. Hex, though, still inside of the caves. Good position to be, at least able to maintain that. Hope for the rotates to come through, but Sprout plants and a deep angle down towards spawn.
Yeah, it's very threatening the way that they just ran through window, and this slows down the CT rotation. So it gives time for XELLOW to get into his spot, wait, and he also knows CTs are going to come from this position as well. So, well, Hex can have his cave. They've still got a decent post plan here. We're going to need some more fragging out of EG.
Ooh, Brehze.
They bring it. That's the key player down.
He'll find it. 2 sets of bread is still going. Zyphon brings it back. He loses Lau. And now behind that pillar, it's a 10-second stick. Zyphon gets his teammate first. What? Charges it down. He comes off the defuse, but by doing so, there is zero chance to jump back on it. Brehze accepts that they lose this round.
And I think... am I nuts, or do you have to stick there?
You have to. I mean, if you come off, you can't get back on. Simple as that.
It sounds so obvious. I wonder what exactly what he was thinking. Like, maybe, you know, you could reasonably think the guy is going to run around and stop this bomb from being defused, but ultimately, if you don't have any other options, kind of surprised to see that. Either way, this one comes very close, but it's Sprout because ultimately they do a really good job of delaying and making it run down the clock in the first place. So Sprout very comfortable on Ancient, an interesting pick and an interesting veto because it almost feels like maybe EG, you know, very happy to take it to Ancient after their heroic victory at the Blast groups. But Sprouts love Ancient, and I think for that reason, always play to your strengths.
Deep T smokes inside sight. neaLaN, chance with the Desert Eagle, but off the mark. So presence being shown here, zero donut control. The cave player from EG who could maybe get that mid flank going. Of course, still being held in by Staehr. So Sprout want to feel out top mid, and Wiz, just gave up his angle. Had a much better position, just 5 feet back. Could have taken that first shot, ran to the right. Instead, with him dying, sure enough, A-site commitment comes through. Funnily enough, the donut players evacuate back towards middle, and they just completely avoid Hexed by every stretch of the imagination. He's thinking he's getting a fight somewhere on this push, and there's just nobody there. So Sprout, excellent job of getting away from any problems.
Yeah, neat and tidy here from Sprout as they approach the A-site, and again, show just as much confidence as they move around the map quickly to organize for that split. In terms of expectations for this match, I think for me, number one, Automatic had a very bad first day. Bottom of the board, clearly wasn't feeling it. And lately, Automatic, he's got to be the best player on the team. I think sometimes with the veteran players, you're not expecting too much out of them, and you expect them to play more support roles. But since he came back to EG, I think we saw just such a high level of individual skills on top of his, veterancy that you would think that he could keep it up at least a little bit. And they're missing him at the moment. The other thing is that Wiz also hasn't had that big map to impress so far since his debut. And as much as honeymoons are often scoffed at, it's better to have them than to not. And so far, we haven't seen that from Wiz.
Look what they've just found. They don't have any pistols to really work with, but that bomb gets abandoned. T's come flying back, however. Just Mac 10 straight into the charge. So, okay, EG. You thought you had something. And honestly, ton of damage here. Could have gotten sketchy if a gun exchanges hands, but I like that Sprout evacuate the problem and then immediately just throw themselves back into the deep end.
On the upside for me with EG, I think it's actually neaLaN and Hexed, who at first looked a lot worse, in my opinion, neaLaN as a caller and as an individual, and Hexed just in terms of his comfortability. And I had more expectations for me. I knew more about Hex coming into the team than I did Wiz. And I feel like when we watched him play at the groups, I think we saw a very selfless player, a guy who was putting his best foot forward when it came to opening kills. And I feel like his DPR was sort of high, like he didn't have outstanding matches as an entry, but I think he was very much doing his job. So I'm liking the development so far of neaLaN and Hexed. My favorite part about the death segment was when Yanko said that these are two good teams. That was very kind of him.
Yeah, very, very kind indeed. I do think that Sprout has shown great promise, right? This is Sprout, remember, that I think shocked a lot of people by securing a legend spot at the Rio Major, and then didn't go 0-3. You know, teams like, not
FaZe?
like, you know, not like FaZe, right? Obviously.
Not like G2. Oh, wait, they weren't even.
Oh.
That's okay. They're so much better now.
It's just a nice story for a guy like Zyphon. One of the, I think, kind of sometimes forgotten piece of the Antwerp Copenhagen Flames major run.
Because he's so quiet. Like, he doesn't have, like, isn't doing a lot of interviews and things like that. I've got a little anecdote about him, actually, that we can save until after we see how this round plays out. Down to one Molly in the situation is EG. Get all their money together.
Not enough to get the Cave player out of here. Hex still floats around.
That was actually pretty terrifying, the way he peeked that. The pre-aim was perfect.
Hex trying not to lose his head.
This is a lot of map control given over to Sprout. I think they're going to be quite happy about the situation. But the complexion of this round, I think, they're going to expect two people to be here and B, and Hex is doing a good job of holding his smoke. You know, getting that out at the 45-second mark is awesome. They'll also call for a rotation here, even though they're low on information. But they're not playing committed spots. I don't like, actually, that Hex is backing up out of this, because it'll make it claustrophobic for his teammate to get in. And now the exec is coming, so they're planning to play retake. Well, their utility is running low.
Gonna see that the site's clear, but a little gap. Oh, Liz tries to face through it. Second CT does the same. Then we've got fire on the feet of XELLOW. Doesn't make his job any easier. Can he find a safe place to plant? Still wanting to get down onto the pillar, sure enough. And the T's press out, but automatic in through short. It's a lauNX team kill, not ideal. Reload here, Staehr wants to press smoke, but he's got a player to his right and somehow still gets away with the frag. XELLOW's down to 20, 2 CTs. Oh, but the Thomas headshot is so clean, and it gives them that little bit of a hope. However, the hope was taken away truly when the fire lands behind pillar, gets them off the first bomb plant, and what looked like a very comfortable, calculated Sprout suddenly became a scramble.
Yeah, shout out to Automatic for the 2K spray down. That really made the difference. Right here in this situation. Zyphon and... Oh, it's actually a team kill from Lau to start that off on the flash. Well, it's good enough for CT spawn. Maybe could have actually covered Brehze in that spot as well. But the smoke with a gap, I mean, that was the T smoke, right? So maybe they offhanded it and gave Evil Geniuses a chance.
I know there was also a Molotov that landed right with it, like layered to burn the close pocket. So that could have been a weird interaction too. To keep eyes on it. You still owe the people a Zyphon anecdote, but you save it for pistols.
Yeah. Still some money left here for EG to try again. Or sorry, for Sprout to try again.
neaLaN fully white. Just regains vision now. They're gonna follow through behind this. A little bit of gusto. neaLaN decides not to throw down his smoke without knowing whether or not they're getting closer. We've got that third CT over towards the A site, and of course Sprout going to use Refresh as the top mid hook.
We'll see if Sprout are playing, you know, new age Ancient, because it's a lot of window abuse, and right now Refresh is already inside. I was wondering if we're going to see this early. Saw more of a traditional B split last round, which has actually fallen out of meta, I feel like. But here they've got the last round plus the window lurk and worse guns for EG.
Plus nobody up inside of Cave where Hex has regularly been. Wiz playing off the scout. Again, he's going to have a little gap. But this time it's the Cave player who doesn't necessarily have to come out and exit into the site. It's 3 up ramp, bomb included. Refresh shows himself top mid. Donut player going to be a bit preoccupied with that one. Spam can't land from Hex. He takes damage, in fact, but Wiz, ooh, a scout headshot to make things interesting. Refresh to turn it back. 2 HPs, all he has left over. So he's going to have to maybe try to run over and bail Zyphon and Lau out of this retake attempt with 3 CTs on long side. It's a peek off of the site. Lau's got the double kill. Flash is excellent, but Lau, 5 health as he gets that 3rd kill. And Wiz, his USP could topple both. Moves in, swaps out. And all of a sudden, time becomes the biggest issue. Time becomes the decider, in fact. He doesn't make a move. A moment of hesitation leaves Sprout back on the board.
That convinced that rotation came out in through Cave, and that was Refresh inside of mid to take out, I believe, Brehze as he was trying to rotate. They had a lot of outs in that round. Instead of like they did last time where they took it but then left it completely and went for the full-on, more typical B split. The retake is almost great here from EG, and they do this in a round that I think is the approach. They have a lot less to work with. Wiz is opening kill, makes a case for EG, but ultimately lauNX, baby. That's the guy we know from Red Bull Flick from last year. Did he win?
I can't remember.
I felt like he won.
We watched a lot of that.
Go check on that, yeah. I just remember he was a standout player, of course. Red Bull Flick was a 2v2 AIM tournament that lauNX. He came to me and he's like, "Big Lau." I took a photo with him. Let's see.
Saw a lot of dematerializations that event.
Yeah. So I remember I was in it was Antwerp, and I was in the bus on the way to the after party, and all the Copenhagen Flames guys were in it when Zyphon was still on the team. And I remember saying, Jabby's got the best aim on the team. Like, by far, he's the guy who has all the aim on the team. And unanimously, all said, including Jabby, Zyphon.
Really?
Yeah. They said, no, it's Zyphon. And I was like, okay. I was completely outnumbered. I'm not scared of Danes, but I was totally outnumbered.
Sure.
So I let him have it.
Had to retract it. And speaking of Danes, and I think guys who sometimes underappreciated, right? Sprout. The inclusion of Refresh. The heroic player that got cut and everybody was upset about, saying it's not going to be easy to replace him. The Jabby pickup over top of him, I feel like, was criticized more than it was welcomed.
Definitely. I think I was actually somebody who said it was a good move. But at the same time, it was a move that wasn't as clear as some others. Like, I think for heroic, it was clearly an opportunity to get Jabby more so than it was an opportunity to get rid of some dead weight. I don't think anybody viewed Refresh as that player. But, we obviously applaud Heroic for making that move now. Jabby's just one of the best players to come out of Denmark. Probably the best player that wasn't on a team after the Copenhagen Flames dissolved to not be on a top team. And Refresh was just a bottom stats performer for Heroic. But when they first played Cologne, in the summer, of course, they grouped out, and that wouldn't have been a result that they would expect with Refresh. They probably could have been expected to even make finals with Refresh, but over the long term, they've done a good job of introducing him, and now he's a huge part of the reason why they won the Blastfall finals. They had the deep run at the major, but it by no means says that Refresh wasn't good enough for the team or anything like that. He's a very explosive rifler, very selfless, and I think we have still a lot to see from him. So it's cool that he joins forces with Zyphon to make Sprout better. Now, we would not be talking about Sprout, I don't think, if not for both of them coming onto the team.
Sure.
I mean, the whole roster has names that were just like, wow, very impressive. XELLOW's impact rating is actually unbelievable. It's 1.26 of his whole career.
Yeah, he's got that special sauce. I think it's just Refresh and Zyphon that just bring a bit more experience and legitimacy. Name value. And we look at their results again. 1 win in Rio at least, but topping the RMR to qualify as Legends. No easy feat. Wiz. There we go. It's man advantage for Evil Geniuses.
That was a quick shot from Wiz. You saw what Staehr did last time with the shoulder peaks.
Usually it was Hex sitting back there on the receiving end. So you put the op in position, you net yourself a 5v4, and you put Sprout into an interesting position where all of them are going to come through donuts. Yeah. Will they just come through this smoke? Are they going to test that?
Rotations are limited here for the CTs. They're really worried about a window lurk this time, but they're playing far back from it.
Brehze, what an incredibly clean headshot, but Refresh will go ahead and find one as well. Him and XELLOW both with entry kills into this A site and a smoke towards CT lane to keep the rotators out of position. Evil Geniuses do not have a long main lurk. They would have Hex to come in from ledge. But we've got a double up from Sprout inside Donut and a man just goose-egging that bomb. So Automatic trying to piece together the information. They don't know where everybody's gotten off to. It's refreshed. Oh, given a chance. But he drops it. And so will Zyphon. Little bits of HP from Hex left over. That gets taken down. Once again, it is bomb at the very end. And that smoke isn't on top of it. Could have served as a problem. Nobody's going to get lost as they tried to hold them off from Donut. But it's clean coverage from Wiz. Yep. 2 op shots on the round. And Evil Genius's second win.
Winning by retake. Classically EG. So that's well done. I think the post plant was solid. I still think that this... Okay, so yeah, that's the first shot. And that was in slow motion. So a nice round from Wiz, a great clip off from Brehze, but the 2K entry looked like that was going to be enough to make this too difficult. I want to say shout out to both teams. You know, I would say I don't like the setup from EG in these past couple of rounds. I think you need to overemphasize window in, when I say today's meta, I mean like this week. Oh my god.
Okay, that helps.
Well,
that will certainly help. And honestly, great reposition. We haven't seen Wiz over towards this A site. Doing his best Brokey impression. Shuts down the A main play, but it will still require the retake. CT's tons of utility here. Smoke off Donut, smoke off main. You got everything you need. Assuming XELLOW doesn't just instantly shut down neaLaN, which he won't. In fact, it goes the other way. Very comfortable retake now coming into fruition. They're even going to pinch Donut with headshots in abundance. Evil Geniuses starting to rack up some rounds here, starting to chip away at the economy, and they're going to keep 5 players up, all of which essentially 100 HP.
Yeah, you got to appreciate, again, their comfortability in the retakes and this opening attack from Wiz. Again, a player who, you know, when you pick up someone like this, you must have seen something. But as soon as he joined EG and played through the groups, you're allowed to be nervous. You're allowed to take time to get better. But we didn't really see that glimpse like we've seen with some other players who just come on. And as the opper, there's such high expectations for you. Your level of responsibility is just higher than everybody else on the team in terms of fragging. So great to see that finally starting to flourish with him. Still early into the first map, but good signs. As for Sprout, honestly, post plants have been a little shaky, but full credit to EG. Their retakes have been fantastic, and I think the early to mid rounds for right now for Sprout, they're posturing really well. They're taking all the open space. They're winning cave control mostly without dying, apart from that Wiz round, and they were able to use window effectively last time as well. They might be a little bit worried about how easily they're able to take mid and aren't lurking window. I think they just need to lean heavily into that, because at the moment, we've seen teams with the new Ancient changes who are not trying to protect window with both hands on CT side getting totally abused. And at the moment, Sprout have that option.
So far, just good CS. No glaring issues, no mistakes being made. Well?
From who?
I feel like I've seen anything I want to criticize.
Okay.
I'm not upset today. Not yet. Leaning back on Wiz and Automatic. Flashes both directions, and remember, Bomb is still sitting outside of the B site. Very comfortably back with XELLOW outdoors. I feel like we have seen a lot of smokes actually having either gaps in them or an angle being found around them. But that will be plugged pretty quickly, and it didn't force Wiz onto the other side of this, right? If he was back in CT spawn, then maybe they can just come into this B split. However, this shot won't help. Luckily for them, Brehze does pick one up in the CT spawn, so they have effectively cut off this side of the split, and that cutoff is going to cause Sprout to, what feels like, evacuate the original plan of splitting B, and instead go in with a Donut A main hit. You've got that CT player locked in. Brehze still expecting another red push. He already shut down the first one. neaLaN, hands busy inside Donut, but he at least does his job. And the long players come through with that deep kill. They can go for the plant again. A consistency it seemed. But this time, neaLaN with a triple on the round will deny Sprout all in routes.
So well handled right there from neaLaN. Inside of Donut, of course, that was a point of attack. They had Donut control. They have an open plant, and neaLaN doesn't let that bomb go down and grabs 3 frags. Now, again, I mean, concerned for EG about playing, like, if Wiz plays here to watch the lurk, you can, and you can wait there, but you're also beholden to their timing, because what I think is more effective, obviously, is clearing out the window completely, and then you're free to rotate back and forth from CT spawn. But with EG being comfortable in retake situations, well, they might be able to get away with their game plan.
Ooh. Well, we watch NA here start to come back. NA over on the B stream, smoking Permita. Complexity 16-8, map 1.
Damn.
The last event these two teams played, they had to eliminate one another. Complexity dropping Evil Geniuses. Hext gonna get a chance at a couple, but lauNX decides enough's enough, kid. Sit back. Smoke out, but automatic. Full control of the situation. neaLaN, not so much. Loses his head. A chance. Oh, a very real chance. lauNX comes through. 3 Deegs already on the round. Picks up the AK-47. Has Wiz smoked off, and that grenade confirms his rotation.
Holy hell, man. He just won the round. Can they even go for this? They've got Wiz on an op.
But at least Brehze is already close towards Cave, so he could try to move this one in. Wiz is going to see that it's clear. Maybe the fire can flush one deep, or at least prevent Brehze from being peeked. Nice trade because there's 2 of them. lauNX, that's 4 kills on the round. And with a back turn to him, he could very well frag out versus every single player of EG. Sure enough, 3 Deagle headshots into the rifles. An ace for Sprout 6th.
He has been doing nothing but impressing since joining this roster. What a round out of lauNX. 3 Deagles to kick things off, and every single one was just an instantaneous trade. So the most effective way possible to get in here. And I guess that one's just a straight-on opening. Wow, this is beautiful Deagle work, man.
It's going to leave EG stunned. New T spawns. It's so tough as a guy like neaLaN who's just trying to jump to Donut. That's all he's doing. Running out mid and jumping to Donut. And even then he gets caught and nearly dead. But Refresh will be fragged instead. Staehr, good cover, traded. Evil Genius is trying to fight for this control, but it's going to leave them worse for wear.
Yeah, EG are still doing a couple of old ancient things. I want to be very clear. It's just these spawns changing has just changed the map so much in that way. Even in this round, they're still coming out ahead on trades, and it's great to see neaLaN, Wiz, and everybody else having a normal day and them fragging well.
Allows Heroics definitely the highlight of the map, but it's EG's scoreboard top to bottom evened out. Wiz gonna try to pull ahead here, 2 versus 4 remaining. They've got the op posted, so we better be careful. Bullet doesn't find him. Lucky, arguably, to be alive. And the M4's gonna go ahead and stuff all that's left. So sure, Sprout, magical moment from lauNX, but right back to reality. Evil Genius's CT side, alive.
Yeah, and you'd rather be the team winning the recent rounds, as close as it is. You'd rather be the team winning the rifle rounds, even though that Deagle round was very impressive. So this is starting to look very good. Now, this is a crude way to look at things, but, you know, since joining the team, Wiz has had 1 map with 20 kills, and that was the highest that he's had. So, again, just to point out, we're still looking for that huge game, and it looks like this might be coming. Hex, nice cover.
Clean, right? You're talking about the things that EG still do out of date. That's another one. Risky when you go for that second cave room. We see Automatic just run for his life, and Hex was ready to help. Now Automatic's on the box. Good off angle. Could catch Staehr sleeping.
You know, Staehr just had one scrim where he killed the guy like 6 times on this angle.
Yep.
He just loves it.
Automatic. Ooh, ain't that funny. That bomb just rolls right in. Smoked off as well, so now Sprout. Sorry, boys. You're not getting that back. Ooh, before he even hits the ground, neaLaN. Catching him. And then Brehze will finish off Zyphon. So another round where, again, Evil Geniuses come out 5 alive.
Yeah, and they're looking to make a name for themselves here on Ancient. Not a small scalp to take on this map. I think 7-1 of the recent games are Sprout. The level of competition is varied. EG's one win was like, wow, they took out Heroic and trying to show that they can keep the performances up.
Waving at him.
Wow. Didn't even see that over the glass.
Smoked off in red room, but that's fine. Wiz, dynamic positioning throughout the half. Gets counterpicked. Opens up. No second servings. You only get to take one.
This is the spot that I was talking about from neaLaN, very important. You still have to win your fight, and as the smoke comes up, Zyphon carefully leaves the angle.
Could have been picked up, but Brehze will catch him off guard, and neaLaN.
Just with a bit of elevation, out of harm's way.
Fancy's little walkout middle here, and the timing looking good.
Here's the other thing, look at the options that are opened up because you held window, and you know no one's there.
Ooh, they don't even look. Ooh. Clean double kill from neaLaN. Mows down lauNX. Neither player looking as they exit out through that door. So neaLaN, yeah, comfortable. Moves immediately as soon as the smoke is gone. Certainly helps Brehze getting the donut kill.
And you don't tie up Wiz, too. You know, playing back in CT, waiting.
I see the resemblance.
Between me and him?
lauNX and lauNX.
Yeah, brothers. I'm almost as good, too.
You, him, and Sponge.
Yeah. Maybe he has a July 24th birthday as well.
Pistols back in. Sprout. Final couple of rounds here in the first half.
Ouch.
Staehr. Charred toes as he doubles back towards A main. Now this is one of those rounds where A site's actually a bit understaffed. You've got the forward donut presence. You've got neaLaN still leaning in spawn. And again, it's Tech9's Deagles. May not be problematic. But they're going to try to move past that A1S. Couple of kills out of Brehze. Wiz finds the wall bang. And we've got Refresh on the plant. Refresh and Zyphon. The cut Danes. Finds one on top of the signpost. Refresh now hands on an M4, but it's a 1 versus 4 needed. And the first one is clean, but there's so many players from Evil Geniuses. I feel like these retakes have been very fluid.
Yeah, absolutely. And a couple of the early ones were disadvantaged, but now it's just getting easier and easier. They're in a flow of things, and Wiz having a great game is awesome. Like, as you put it, dynamic positioning, lots of opening starting positions, which you love to see. Less sitting behind smokes, which is basically the folly of all operas who are, you know, nervous and new. And they're starting to get rolling, man. They've not only recovered this half, but they just now suddenly look like the better team, even though I think Sprout, they started off so strong.
And I would say Sprout still having the best player in the server, lauNX. I mean, we see the Deagle ace, or 3K into ace. But barring that one, EG looking good. I like that Sheikh Zula was on the desk prior to this. It's NA's pride. Gave some great insight into the inner workings of his responsibilities. Because obviously, you know, we sit here, we praise Vorborg as the head coach. Sheikh Zula, an analyst, and assistants. Boost. Ooh, thought you were going to get away with it, but Wiz will find you.
Oh, he's Mr. Right Place, Right Time.
This is good, man. Op prowess coming out of Evil Geniuses. When we were sat here talking about how XELLOW was possibly going to take over the server in terms of the big green, sitting on 5 kills at the end of this first half, T-side has been slowed down from the early success, but a late tidbit could still come through from Sprout. They're going to send Zyphon deep. Automatic wants the challenge on short, and Zyphon with the op strikes down neaLaN. Now he's got somebody pinned behind box, but automatic's freed up to just go forward, apply that pressure, and get himself a second. Zyphon switches back, and as he goes down in with the smoke, it's a clean one from the old boys on EG. They close it, a 9-6 CT side. We'll be back in a moment.
I'm clearing it. I'm clearing this.
Clear, guys. Careful.
Clearing us.
One was red.
Wait, donut. One coming donut.
Careful.
Main donut.
I have main.
Careful stairs.
Red dead.
Nice shit.
Donut dead, main.
Main low.
Can we fast forward?
Both there.
Yeah.
One's low.
Fast first one.
Fine. Excite.
Nice!
Good job, boys.
What are you guys doing?
I'm clearing it. I'm clearing this. Clear, guys. Careful clearing us.
One was red. Careful.
Welcome to the dystopian future,
Says Hext, as these players pop off, and honestly, earned. Clean Counter-Strike coming out of Evil Geniuses. Good start for Sprout as well. The biggest heroic moment belongs to Lau, but EG with retake after retake kind of made Sprout fumble towards the end of that first half, and now it's up to them on the map choice of their opponent to see if they can add another best-of-3 win to this year. But can they do it in 2-0? Would that be unfathomable?
Let's start with the map.
Let's start with the map. But at least they started with the half.
Yeah.
Wiz nice to have you here in your full capability. 2 kills already, 15 and 7.
Dude, just aim like he's there.
One of the best halves we've already seen out of him since joining this roster. And XELLOW, he could have a chance to shut him down. Ooh, these USP kills are clean. And he just lets that other one get cleaned up by Refresh. Doesn't even give it his attention. We wanted to see something spectacular from XELLOW on the off, and now neaLaN will be pinched from both sides.
Wow.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, mellow XELLOW. Look how relaxed that was. Some beautiful shooting. Well, this might change the story. Just the pistol that'll keep you from being deflated at least. Maybe tie up. Wow, some beautiful shots here, and he doesn't even see the guy on the corner of his screen. Maybe that was a clip. Still was, honestly. Over on the other stream, just curious, Complexity beating Permita. And Fang and Hauser, kind of like in this game, 2 players who really bad at the beginning of the start to this year, the first week. Top the board, looking to raise their individual form. So over there, you've got Fang and Hauser. Over here, I feel like it's a lot about Automatic and Wiz.
Hext at the helm. Gonna try to run down Zyphon. He's just putting out fire, but he is still locked into this fight. He's gonna get swarmed. Brehze in with the Tech 9. We've already got players pushing out from spawn, though. Don't try that plant, friend. You are not safe. Not one bit. There's CTs all over. Everybody's just cowering inside of the smoke. Brehze uses that as an evacuation plan. And neaLaN, it's a late play from middle that could catch off the 1 M4 as he waits for the smoke to fade. neaLaN found timing and crossed over mid. Now he's trying to get back behind these CTs. Can anybody from EG serve up a distraction? neaLaN encroaching ever closer, and Automatic turns all their heads. neaLaN gets him off the defuse, and now neaLaN's looking for the next one. Staehr jumps on top of the bomb, and it should be close, but it should be Sprout.
Right down the wire, and Sprout will grab the retake, looking like a little bit of EG, honestly. In that position, you kind of like the spot that EG got in the post plan. Out towards A, minimal losses, even got a frag here on the early push in off the flash. And of course, no one's blind because he's just turned looking at Donut. A little frustration there from Zyphon.
Don't cry, my friend.
Yeah, burst into tears. I wish I wanted something that badly.
I'm dying to NA. Honestly, super frustrating for him, though. I get that. You got to put out the Molotov, but then the smoke takes away your vision unless you're in the open. But then Brehze comes through with the Tech 9 and sees half your body sticking out of the smoke. Like, nah.
Yeah, they got the kitchen sink right there.
Unfair.
1-round game. Clearly, anybody could win it. Evil Geniuses, again, one instantiation of Ancient so far this year, but it was such a good map versus such a strong team. They are riding a massive high. And off that comeback in the first half, you got to think they're not scared of Sprout's record right now.
neaLaN's going to come through with that solo AK. I'm
Honestly,
down.
a good guy to have it. We saw, I think, you know, multiple 3Ks from him in that first half.
Sprout also not scared to make moves here with the weapon and utility advantage. So much control of the map.
Yeah.
They got eyes on elbow, eyes deep doors. The only place EG can be is A main or back behind in spawn.
I kind of wonder, though, again, because of the way EG were playing that first half, I don't feel like they updated their gameplay too much towards abusing new Ancient as much as possible. And so I wonder if they'll find the T-side advantages when they didn't seem too aware of what the most optimized defenses were.
Hex is getting closer. Back plat player could jump him on a moment's notice.
It's a very classic position for the CT side. They have elbow control while they're spotting deep B main. They're ready for this pop. It's, you know, if a kill comes down on the A side, then Staehr maybe turns his attention, but right now he's nothing else to worry about.
Staehr senses it, and lau's going to put a quick end to the first peek. There's Hext's Deagle. We were kind of waiting to see what, if anything, could happen on A.
It actually worked. They pushed out. They got a kill with the first one, and lau, he gets caught rotating back in. The play works.
No
it's a double
way.
fake.
Off of Hext's Deagle. And the AK can now thrive because he's locked in on this angle. He's got an MP9 to overface. And a smoke picked up as well. Oh, EG, the masterminds, truly geniuses in leaving Hex to walk it out. Of course, XELLOW could still take it back. He's got them turned. Backside player comes in big. That's Wiz. Now Refresh extends. That's what allows for him to close that gap. But guess what? EG, with the robbery, they get one back from Sprout.
They show themselves to Staehr. As soon as it's 30 seconds, Staehr says, okay, we got some info. It's probably going to be B. He falls back to the site. The mid player backs up through spawn. And then as soon as that happens, Hex takes his fight, and it looks like a single fake. And instead, well, EG show us that you can also use players alongside utility to throw fakes. And just that little bit of suggestion was enough. And I think Hex's kill is imperative. Otherwise, you don't overreact.
For sure.
But they still did overreact, even though that kill came down, you know?
Well then.
Yeah.
Early T success. And listen, if I'm going to bring this back to the Sprout first match yesterday, you know, I think we saw some indecisions end up costing them. It's what our analysts brought up, right? Leaving 3B at the start of the round, trying to leave, but then deciding not to. You know, Sprout have, I want to say, outplayed themselves at times. And it's only like a 4-second hesitation, but that's all it takes for EG to break through the defense. Oh, automatic, you rat. Catches Staehr in sight with the wallbang. Not going to help Sprout's situation. Lau looking to make that FAMAS enough. He's got XELLOW just at the top of ramp. Then it's donut control. That's the only thing Sprout here have going for them. Brehze with the flash to maybe get Wiz moving upwards. XELLOW gonna feel a bit compromised, and neaLaN saw some skin. He waits for it, little patience, fine enough at the 30-second mark. Long player's peak, Lau gets himself the headshot, Refresh off of the pistol, they're fighting back! It's again Refresh in, and Hex on the flank, times it superbly, but Lau, we know what he could do. Oh, Brehze wins the smoke spam, and EG tested, but successful.
Okay, they put some pressure on Lau to make a move right there. Brehze gets that kill through the smoke. Even if it doesn't happen, we have a good lurk in from Hex as well. And this opening frag, well, clearly had a massive impact on this round to make things easier. Refreshes 2, 5-7 kills. Well, those were deadly.
Love this. 5-7, man.
So good. It's basically an automatic weapon. 11-8. Heroic are somewhere smiling. Thinking we lost to a great team.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Evil Geniuses versus Danes. It's a good track record. Oh no, Staehr. P250 from the backside. neaLaN just gonna keep it rambunctious. So this can definitely be recovered, but remember, Sprout, they push 3 players out long A, and so they're already coming up this B ramp. neaLaN peeks on the reload, not ready for the fight. There's more where the first one comes from. Not a problem for Brehze.
Brehze just slows down time. How does that look so simple for him? Resets his aim over and over again, and just keeps putting bullets in the head. That's beautiful. And I actually love, again, we just see that them using window on the T side here, actually even more frequently than we saw Sprout with their mid control. So looking forward to this next rifle round to see what the play is, but we've got very fast but organized tactics here from EG that are going off without a hitch.
Okay, thought he was gonna peek. Nope, no fight out of XELLOW. Just denied vision. We get Sprout pulling off of that B site backline.
See, this molly is key too. Right in between the re-aggression with a flash, and Brehze advances.
Oh, clean, but I don't think he's going to expect that second CT. Fair enough. And Refresh even gets a decent enough duel downtown, but Wiz now looks to get that op up. Zyphon's flank could be timed perfectly, but it looks like the lane players could already be moving into the B site. Not Hex. Oh, didn't see him.
Oh, he was so tucked, and Hext actually is the one who caught a glance. Well, he sees him leave, but
They're calling for the mid push, which would be...
man, Zyphon ran the rotation, so they might not be totally ready for this, but they're just walking back out. And
Oh!
neaLaN!
Letting neaLaN do what Hex did rounds ago. And look at Zyphon. Outdoors, still going up to the B site. Sold. Because Hex gets a glimpse of Zyphon.
Yeah.
Very nice, quick call. A transition over to the A site. We talked about EG's retakes in the first half. Let's see Sprouts. Easy one for XELLOW as Wiz backs up. And we've got the double donut post plant here for EG. Player coming in. Oh, it's nice. It is very nice. Sprout, all headshots in the 3 versus 3 to give themselves their 9th.
Yeah, I mean, like that was EG's rounds. Getting that bomb down, avoiding the Zyphon rotation, and reading that he actually thought it was going to be the B site. Did Zyphon... Actually, maybe they both saw each other, but I think what happened was Zyphon saw Hex, his gun barrel,
Okay.
not looking at him, and then Hex actually turned and saw him leaving. So Zyphon thought he had very good info on somebody who had no idea, and Hex, since he got the last information, was able to actually make a play to counter what he saw. So maybe that's a little unlucky for Zyphon, who tried to be very slick about it. Or, I don't know. Well, you would think Zyphon would stick around for the fight if he saw him, though, huh?
Possibly, or at least just to make sure that they don't double back. I don't
Might
know.
have just been noise outside of B, hard to say. But either way, Sprout win the rounds.
It's a good move from EG, but
Okay, so that mid interaction, that's more like on meta at this moment with the window play from both sides. neaLaN used the molly to assist Brehze forward with the flash as well, and then Sprout also doubling up inside of window, understanding the importance of retaining control, and also there's a huge value in maybe getting your first kill right there, that early in the round.
automatic pressure. Smoke behind him, fire in front, Staehr's wallbangs not far off. No help here for him.
But they're starting to loosen the grip over here. I don't know, it looks like they tried to clear it, but they've still got the right idea. Heavy stack on the A site.
It's the right call for now, but Wiz is just posted. They try to get aggressive. They go take a glance, and it's refresh shut down.
Hey, I mean,
Instantaneous.
if they were too lazy, then they don't watch that. So good protocols here from EG. And now a lurk again into the B site, completely vacant at the moment.
Right, Sprout
CT scrambling back.
figuring it out fast enough, but we'll see how deep they can get. Hex has been left in elbow. And the CTs do shuffle over fast enough.
I don't know if they can get in, though. Yeah.
I have to lean it back. It's okay. Oh, Brehze! So easy with the headshots. And it did feel like that was going to happen. Everybody in that moment rolling their sleeves up. We knew it was going to be fisticuffs. But it's Brehze to land the jabs first, and we've got the bomb planters still pinned in. Lau and XELLOW on the retake if they choose to.
Man, they're getting told what to do. I mean, they're leaving sites that they should be shouldn't be worried about, or that they should be worried about. The lurks are coming through from EG. I mean, EG get a punishment kill over on the A side with that Wiz locking it down to stop the double push from coming in. And it looks clear as day from that point on as to what EG need to do. And then we get moments like this from Brehze because he's set up to succeed. I mean, he's in a spot now. He has two advantageous positions. He can hear a rifle over here. That angle's not that wide. The other fight's nice. And they're not easy shots to hit, but if you set up Brehze in positions like that, he will deliver. And that's what we're seeing. A great game from him.
Which is obviously a welcome sight, because slowly but surely, evil geniuses are replacing that old guard, right? Cirque felt like he was kind of called for his head for so long, gave him plenty of chances. Eventually, they had to make the move, and You know, then next up would be Brehze or automatic if things don't go well. That's what was so disappointing about the game versus Fnatic yesterday. Brehze and automatic just not there. Especially automatic. But we see the glimpse of success here and there. And this evening, it's from both of them. Brehze surpassing neaLaN and Wiz as the top fragger. But like you said, I think it does kind of hinge on him being set up. Put him in the right piece, right place. Automatic again. Just sat outside of the B site. Him versus Staehr, a common trend in the last couple of rounds. Now he can more confidently fixate towards cave because you've got Brehze back behind doors, just making sure the ramp push doesn't come down. And it's not going to. XELLOW super deep with Lau underneath him. Saw Sprout creep into A main last round. Wonder what would have happened if they had just sat on site, because it did look like EG were collecting themselves for the commitment.
It's just the perfect amount of pressure once again from EG. They win mid slowly. They have this group up towards A. And Zyphon, he's got a great angle for this 5-7, but did you know he was going to get 2?
So nice. 5-7 headshots, a thing of beauty. We get the stuff on A main. We get Brehze top mid. He's been shooting hot, but XELLOW, nice reaction. Fast enough to flick over. Bomb, does it commit with Wiz?
Oh, this is a little, I mean, it's kind of a scary rotation from Wiz. He might want to walk now to get out of this, and automatic's hoping to once again pull the rotations back in this direction.
There's time.
And they might be marginally scared about it, but I don't... This might
like
set him up for a kill more than anything else. No, Staehr's worried about the lurk.
But they confirm both players. Feels like we get to that point in time where he's got to go it in. So Wiz, let's see the rifle work. MP9 inside Donut. Quick, easy peek to shut that one down. If automatic's a bit faster, gets the kill on the back line, maybe that scrambles enough players, but it felt like Wiz was always going to have to hit A.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, yeah, if you walked out a bit sooner, then I think it makes more sense to go back to automatic, who walk through an open site, because they know majority rotations are going to be on the other side of the map. So it's one of those situations where if they have more time in the clock, then they can start to make it a little bit more complicated, but weren't afforded that opportunity.
And now won't be afforded much at all. 3 Desert Eagles. Feels like we have been singing EG's praise, but now Sprout, chance to just make sure this defense holds strong, clean out of Staehr. And very safely just gets back up towards the top of ramp, so looking all good for Sprout thus far. We saw Hex get a dirty Deagle A site. Not gonna happen this time. Everybody getting shut down all across the map. Sprout slotting into their groove.
Yeah, this one's much better. What are you thinking about Sprout's chances of making the full comeback happen based on what we've seen so far in the second half?
I really like the way the Evil Geniuses have been pulling them back and forth inside of this T side. And that's kind of where I saw the folly of Sprout yesterday. And I think for that reason, EG are masterminding moments.
Yeah, they look like they're calling better, I agree. Okay, well, neaLaN looking for the punish. Retake here on mid. I think we've actually got a B-Stream update, so why don't we check on it? Complexity in the lead after taking map 1. It was a very one-sided affair. CT side overpass. Looks good, and again, Fang actually having another great map.
The EG struggle over the past year has been real. After multiple roster shuffles and replacements, EG set this.
Thank you, James. He talks too much anyway.
Welcome, Cameo. Dude, we got 2 players already nearly dead. You know, we talk about the change up to the T side, how people can get out aggressively. Well, met by utility, the aggression feels blunted. At least they get away alive. Could put automatic on an op. I'm not complaining. How do they keep this one well and truly alive? They're going to double this one back, leaving neaLaN 6 HP as a late mid lurk. So maybe just hoping to catch maybe 1, maybe 2 players climbing up those boxes, but he can't take an angle early.
this is a moment where I think in terms of conditioning, the number one thing on Sprout's mind is don't overreact, right? Okay, and this donut, oh, that's a very important flash. As your donut player, sort of hard to get back. I don't think they can smoke him in this spot. Oh, they do.
It's going to catch him off.
Oh, they're so close.
Oh, they're going to catch him off. Hexed. He's seen. Op still gets one. The fact automatic reacts that quickly to a player that close.
Look at the mid lurk now.
It's managed to get through neaLaN and Zyphon. And he had 6 HP to somehow creeping crawl his way past Donut, in through red, and it all boils down to timing.
Man, fantastic map from neaLaN, not only as an IGL, but as a player, I think. He is not making the game about himself. He's able to come through with lurks. He did really well on CT side on some of the holds from just a mechanical perspective. I think this is some of the best CS we're watching neaLaN play, and I think, of course, there's a lot of people to thank, I think, for EG's development with the support they have around them, but genuinely, I mean, the fact that they beat Heroic is one thing, but not an easy team to look good against, particularly on this map, and so far so great. Putting up a very tasteful Ancient here. And again, the fact that they're able to make Sprout over-rotate consistently is so impressive versus a team that picks this map consistently.
I think that one also hinges on the automatic shot too. You know, you're coming around that corner expecting deep long. You got a player up close in your face, gunshots all around you. Dies a half second afterwards. Efficient trading out of EG. And almost perfect timing from Sprout. You know, you run that back 2-3 times. Feels like they come out on top, but...
I think neaLaN gets the lurk off every time, to be honest.
Okay.
Because they had the donut player, and he specifically flashed him to get him back. He opened the timing up.
Oh, 5-7.
God.
Sets up Lau for the kill. Automatic, blind as hell. Staehr regains vision. We've got a 2v4. Ooh, nasty from Lau. Great rifle work to snap it back down. And we talked about EG's team play, but we've also had to highlight Lau's individual moments. And just like that Deagle 3K into Ace, this one is so fresh.
And another great round out of Refresh on the low buy with just a 5-7 holding this site down. Unfortunate for EG, they try to keep it simple, go towards the B site and get shut down in a very similar way. It has been a gift and a curse for Sprout that these have been some of their most successful rounds this half, actually. But at this moment, 2-round game, low buy for EG.
It's 2 rounds where a 5-7's kicked off with impact. Once on the A site boosted, this most previous round as well. But EG will take their time.
They take these rounds seriously because we saw earlier on, well, oh, they made the most of it. Oh my God, Staehr. Stare at that.
Automatic statue-esque in holding for that peak. And that's a gun.
That's a gun. That's the cave player who's also responsible for information outside B main. It was their most aggressive CT player. CTs go for re-aggression on mid, very well timed.
Brehze now. Oh, supposed to best the M4. Zyphon picking up all the slack. Not only do they lose the Galil, but neaLaN, who grabbed that M4, loses it right after. Would have loved to get that into the hands of Automatic or Hexed, who both have Kevlar, so I think you've got to go get that second gun. You've got to be playing for it, plus bomb, and then you just go ahead into a 3v2 death ball on either site.
Yeah, I mean, just as important that EG disrespected that mid play from Zyphon, thinking, okay, he was in elbow control, but now he's fallen back. 2-2 to sites, lots of utility, so no reason for Sprout to get too aggressive.
Cave will be held by Lau. That is not the player EG want to interact with. Oh, and you see why. Insta headshot onto Hexed. Automatic claws it back. Wiz gonna get burned off the plant, but still alive and kicking. And Automatic. We've seen those big moments from Brehze, but this is the other legend. And I believe he saw them switch over. Still wary, but he hears them coming. At least that first player already exited on the right. Automatic doubles back, finds himself another kill, and it's gonna have to be Wiz, who was last seen towards ramp. Oh, found out in the open. Zyphon comes through clutch.
Damn, okay, he comes through clutch to bring in 13. Wiz, of course, could have tucked box, but it doesn't mean that he would win the round if he played that way, and Zyphon was very sharp to clear that. And Wiz was, as you mentioned, he went back through the ramp, right? So I don't know if he was spotted in the first place. It might not have made a difference for Zyphon. But it's another round where EG, them on the low buys, have been equally as impressive as Sprout. What an effort here from Automatic. One bullet away from getting the match point. Now EG could absolutely taste it. But I think, you know, we want this game to be decided on these full rifle rounds with maximum investments. It's a close game as we could all expect, but the outcome is still sort of opaque. I mean, I don't know that Sprout don't follow up with a much better round this time. And for the confidence, this could be the most important one of all.
It's aggressive. We'll give him that. Already climbing up boxes. Man, these Bees players, they're just stuck. And Sprout ready to party. You walk through those doors, boys, there may be more than you expect.
This is kind of dangerous for those guys outside B because there's still some elbow control. Okay, the resmoke comes in, they get out of position.
Ooh, they're going to send one down. Let's refresh at the forefront.
Oh, that spot.
Presence confirmed, but it is still low utility. XELLOW's got a smoke he could put down on that door. Staehr also, yeah, could just keep them out. So we're talking down to about 20 seconds. You could very well still be looking at this pack of EG players sitting outside, but Sprout, what are you up to?
They put a lot of pressure and they're expecting respect, and they've done this before, but EG, they've actually called this out a good number of times. neaLaN with mid control in this spot. Now time is pretty good for Sprout, right? They're getting it down to the final seconds, but as the retake comes in, potentially it might be too late.
EG making this loud. Everybody's on high alert. neaLaN's starting to get aggressive in through red room. Great flash. Staehr goes in. Oh, double kill. Shuts down the ramp play. Automatic's looking to get in from cave. neaLaN's wrapping red, but can't find anything. Wiz goes back. There's a second player in middle. Wiz can't afford to lose this bomb. 10 seconds. Needs the frag and run. Run for that plant. This could still come down to the wire, and neaLaN, he's going for the kills, but it's just not there. Wiz, 1 second more, and EG have 15.
Wow, he got the near impossible frag, and it's time that dictates the outcome. And a lot of this is because of what happened at the front of this round. The fact that Sprout took such aggressive control, delayed their utility just long enough, and then Staehr put up this 2K hold. Actually beautiful for him. I mean, they were doing everything to try to elicit a reaction. They wanted Staehr to come down that ramp so they could fight them one-on-one. That only made it easier for EG to get up, but because there was no trade, even with all this effort from neaLaN and Wiz, comes down to a 1 second difference. That's well earned from Sprout. It's still expensive, and I think money-wise it's fine because they still afford their op. But after this round, they're going to be buying down to 0. So this is about as exciting as it's going to get. Round 29, full buy from both sides. Actually,
limited.
Not quite, yeah. 2 MAC-10s, a Tech 9. It's the op that I noticed at first, but that's Wiz saving it. So those 2 saves could mean everything. neaLaN and Wiz, the heavy hitters here. Suddenly the power has changed hands.
But still such fun rounds of Counter-Strike.
Yeah, it was an ambitious idea and well executed by Sprout.
Missed Molotov on elbow. Hexed slots into it. They're going to take a ton of damage, though, trying to press up lane. Oh, Staehr just slaps him back like it's nothing. And now Wiz on the recovery, boosted.
Didn't get spotted.
I don't know. CT was in a position to maybe see it.
Oh, they felt so much pressure to go fast there. That was the first instant cave take. And they get mauled by a guy we haven't been talking a lot about. Staehr in these last few rounds.
If Hex thinks this is open, he's dead. Zyphon Oh, gets bested.
Okay.
We saw what Hex could do when he got that deagle into the backside, that drew the rotation, scrambled the CTs. Whiz.
Wow, it was a kill with an upgrade. And they're still holding Cave.
Oh, Staehr backs up.
This is sort of uncomfortable for the CT side. We know Staehr's been great on this angle. Oh, and he gets some damage.
Damn, nice peek, Lau.
Yeah. Lau has been a hero.
Looking for his 25th. Feels like the Sprout player's ready for the B hit. Third man's coming over now, and they've got a huge amount of health over top of what's left of EG. neaLaN could go God mode again. We saw those headshots at the end of the last round. Lau peeks just before it plumes, and neaLaN puts himself out there on a pedestal. It's gonna have to be hexed. He should have seen Staehr, and he does get the kill, but it's Lau in from short with another. 3 kills, and every time they need him, Lau stands tall.
Yeah, he's been the beginning and end of EG. Unreal consistency across this map. So many big rounds to talk about. And EG, that is heartbreaking. After the half they put up for Sprout to wake up, and they came through with an ambitious idea, full credit. Last round, they brought something new to the table, and it ended up working out. Even if it was only by 1 second, they kind of created their own luck. They played to win that clock, and they got it. And now they have a much easier round, and they close it out. They know that round 30 in this position should be a layup, and Evil Geniuses know that they could have won this game. But we have seen a great effort for them with low guns. We're at least seeing a significant amount of utility here. The op sometimes is a liability on the T side. They may not even need it. Let's let the CS speak for itself.
Again, it's fast, and it's right into the bullet stream of Refresh. neaLaN recovers Donut. Remember, bomb plants in abundance so far. Refresh tests this lane, gets ahead of the util, which now just comes showering all around him, and he looked for a gunfight, didn't get it. He's gonna underhand the smoke over towards Donut. Automatic punching in the digits. And Refresh, he gets caught by Hex over top through the smoke. There's still life in this for EG. XELLOW just wants to peel this player off a box. Still no plant, but here comes the commitment. And here comes the flank. We've got Staehr on A main. Wiz looks back, deagle in hand, little bit of damage, can't manage. Staehr now needs somebody else to take the pressure off of him, and they've caught the player exposed up on boost. It's going well. Automatic tries his absolute damnedest, but it's just not there. Sprout will survive the test with both pistols, with clean conversions. They get by just barely 16-14.